This morning, yes, it is game day. It is nice and sunny outside, and yeah, in the morning of the rising sun, we shall sing to the death of the Hun. Yes, good morning and welcome back to the channel with me, Baz, and I hope it is fantastic wherever you are all around the world, because there are Celtic fans on this channel from all around the world. Let me just double check this before we go any further. That sounds a lot better this morning. Does sound a lot better this morning. So yeah, there's a bit of transfer news that came out yesterday. The deal is done. Celtic have got their finger out with the first transfer out of Celtic. Inter, hashtag Inter, compró Alexandre Bernabe. Yes. So yeah, Bernabe's been sold. He has been sold. He signed a new contract with the club until 2028. So it's the first one out the door. Celtic haven't even announced it. Which is a strange one. It is a strange one. You think that if that deal was done yesterday, you think that Celtic would have announced it yesterday, but I know it's a day off and it's a holiday in Scotland, but you know, when you do Celtic media, um, there's no off days. There's no off days. They should have had someone in um, confirming that on social media yesterday, just to get the fans excited that the transfer window is open and we're doing business behind the scenes, and just wait to see who's coming in. That's all. Anyway, let's jump into the comment section. There's quite a lot of people online. Last night's live was tremendous, by the way, and fair play to everyone who joined last night's live. Dave Hislop's first in. Gus Fitzsimmons is in the house. Tom Max in the house. Celtic Girl is in, who give me a heads up onto a video that we're going to listen to this morning, because yeah, we need to get a bit of balance on this channel, as we always do. Paul McEwen's in the house, and Brendan is in. Brendan, Jesus, is it? No, I'm joking. Great business if we get 5 million for him. Decent, but it didn't click for him here. Good luck to the lads. 3 or 4 today if you really show up. We'll talk about that in a minute. And Mobley says 17 is my lucky number. Come on, the hoops. Goes 17. For the 17-point gap. Bring on the meltdown, says Dave Hislop. Stephen Johnson's in the house. Jack Ryan is in the house. If you hate the the song, if you hate the fucking Rangers, clap your hands. And today, the team, the players, will go out and do this for the fans that are not in there. Patrick's in the house. He's going for 5-0 to the mighty Celtic. Joe McFarlane is going for 2-0 Celtic. Get your comments in on what you think the score line will be. I think I'm going to. I did go for 3-0 last night, but I think I'll be a bit more realistic when I see the team that Brendan Rodgers puts out this morning. Sounds not as loud. It's maybe the echo that's been taken away. Let me just double check it. Right, 2 seconds, because then I'll switch this back off. And then see what that sounds like, because that should make a difference. Let me just double check. Let's see. It's fine now. There we go. Yeah, that's louder. It's taking away there's a background. Yeah, anyway. 6171 Tara says, I can feel a pumping 4-0. Ian Royce says, right up for it. He's going for 5-0. 4-0, Mr. Quinn. Cracking now, guys. Perfect. 2-0 says Stephen Johnson. 4-1 to Celtic, says Michael, which is an interesting one. I was still going to say it every single league game. I don't see. We've only had 4 goals in against us. We've only conceded 4 goals all season. But every single week, people keep on putting in the 1 goal to the opposition. I don't see it. I think that Celtic today are going to play this like a European game and defend it like we defended in Atalanta. I think that Celtic will defend that good today. I think that Celtic will play this like a Champions League game and get it over the line. And and they'll be dominant. There'll be times in the game that Celtic will be completely dominant, but there'll be times where we will need to defend, and I think that we will defend like a Champions League game. I think that it's that important today to Brendan Rodgers to get this one done and dusted, because let's face it, Brendan Rodgers will have another little feather in his cap. Yes, his feather in his cap of Celtic managers. Brown Warriors going for 2-0 today. Empty the stands with 20 minutes to go. Kieran is going for 6-1. They'll score first. I think that they may get a penalty. Rangers. How many goals? Yeah, there's a poll. This is one aimed at VAR. Could it be one of those games? How many goals will Celtic get chopped off today by VAR? When you look at the game against Motherwell had a goal chopped off. Celtic get every single thing conceded by VAR. There is one good thing about VAR today, and I will announce it. There's one of us on VAR. Yes, there is a Catholic on VAR today. Get it right up, yous. Get it right up, yous. It has been confirmed that there is one of us on VAR. Yes. He's one of us. That's all I'm saying. And you'll be able to guess which one it is. Anyway. Who said only a fool would predict a Celtic Jackie Jakunovski? There's a poll, Baz. Yes, it was that. He was a poll. But this question that I put out to people this morning: how many goals will Celtic get chopped off today at Ibrox? 1, 2 goals, or 3 or more? Will it go down as one of those games that is a complete farce? It is a complete farce by the referee trying to chop off goals and VAR and the VAR assistants overturning the referee. I think it might be one of those days, which will be absolutely 2 for sure, says Black Sausage Squared. Ryan Jack says, I hope Ali Johnson gets a go at Ibrox. He hates the Huds. It was 2 years ago today. 2 years ago today that Alistair Johnston came in and played his first game for Celtic. Yes, it was 2 years ago today. Think about it. That's no time at all in his Celtic career. But you look at what Alistair Johnston has won in those 2 years. It is absolutely fantastic. It is fantastic. 3-1 today for the boys, says James Smith. Tav faking an injury to avoid Maida, and Jack Butland managing to cut himself inside. Anyway, we spoke about the deal agreed for Alexandro Bernabe. Good luck to Alexandro. It's a player that I wanted to do really well at Celtic. He is a player that I wanted to do fantastically well at Celtic, and it's just a shame that it didn't work out, because if we had a little guy for Argentina absolutely ripping it up in the SPFL, Baz, contract being negotiated for Kuhn in the news today, says Big Dom. Is there? I take it it's a new contract for Nico Kuhn. It won't be him leaving Celtic. It'll be a new contract for him, I suspect. I'm sticking before now. Hoop says Big Dez. AJ is a superhero. James says I've done the world's biggest bet builder for today. Happy New Year, Baz, says Chantipu 1888. Love your channel. He's going for 5-0 today. Or I'll go for 4-2 hours. I still don't see it. And honestly, I see a lot of people always giving the opposition a go. Look at the stats of the Celtic team. Believe in the team. Believe in what this team are achieving. You know, I cannot see us conceding today. I just can't. I think that Celtic and Brendan Rodgers will set the team up to play like Atalanta, where if we've got to defend, we'll defend for our lives today, we'll defend as if we are the 300s. We are the 300s. There's not even going to be 300. There's not even going to be 3 Celtic fans in there. But this Celtic team will stand about, hold, yes, get into them. Anyway, calm down, Baz, drink your coffee, and that's too much caffeine this morning. Oh, the dog's making noises because I'm getting too excited. The first goal, Casper will keep a clean sheet. I think he will. My 6 goals is coming from absolute piss take of a back 4. Oh, Jesus. Could you imagine the banter and the meltdown? Yep. Hee-haw, Baz. Hee-haw. Anyway, right. We're going to do... Let me just see. I've done that one. Chris Boyd's, yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to listen to a bit of Meltdown Magic. Let's listen to a bit of Meltdown Magic from Mr. Chris Boyd this morning, talking about his beloved Sevconians. Yes, let's see what Chris Boyd has to say. Just make sure the audio is up on that one, and let's listen to a bit of Chris Boyd and see how he feels this morning.
I think when you look at James Tavernier, obviously injured now for a couple of weeks as well. They're already a patched up back 4 with the injuries I've had. I just look at Rangers. I don't really see any leaders in there. And I mean, I know there has been rumours of Nathan Patterson, but I mean,
he's not here, is he?
I think somebody like a Johnny Evans or something, maybe even to the end of the season. I remember when we were like this in the past, and I know it's going back a few years now, but. People like Hugo Ekiog, sadly no longer with us, but and Davy Weir arrived, and just.
Mate, I can't even remember that far back to when Davy Weir played for you. It was that long ago. Do you know what I mean?
Not even what they gave you on the pitch, how to train, don't know how to be in that and lead people, lead them. That one, I don't think he'll stay there for much longer. But just that older experience. I think Philip Clement has spoken about youngsters coming in and developing them. I mean, even though I think it's a bit of a myth when you look at the average age of the team, but just a few experienced ones to come in, maybe just to steady it on the pitch and round about the training centre, because there is no doubt there's a few boys kind of look lost right now, whether they don't know if they're coming or going on the pitch, and something has to change, because it's not been good enough for Rangers. There's a lot of Rangers fans said it's time up already. They're asking why Philip Clement is still in charge. And when you see what has went on in recent weeks, there is a lot of Rangers fans unhappy, and rightly so.
Are they disappointed, Chris?
When you look at it's the 2nd of January tomorrow, and 14 points is a huge gap at this stage of the season.
How big is it, Chris?
Considering that they've only played each now once in the league. There's been a lot of change at Rangers, but you kind of get the feeling that there'll be change coming again. Patrick Stewart has came in, with other people at the hierarchy. They've changed things behind the scenes. But you can't get away from football clubs' function with what goes on the pitch. And it's not been good enough. You can change everything behind the scenes and start to build from within, within Ibrox, within the training centre. But on the pitch, it needs to be better. And you kind of get the feeling that that's where it's heading. If Rangers haven't to win this game, even if it continues, they're away from, with 2 difficult games away from home after this game. You go to Hibs, go to Dundee, and Rangers away from 11 points have picked up from 27 available. I mean, it's no good enough. And you kind of get the feeling that the Rangers board, they might have made the changes behind the scenes. But moving forward, it might have to be the football department that are looking at next.
Another rebuild, is that, Chris? Is that another rebuild? Yes, another rebuild. Chris Boyd is talking about yet another rebuild. On the day yesterday, when they found out that they have to pay £639,920 to Aberdeen. And then they've also been granted another £250,000 compensation, plus add-ons and a sell-on fee for a player that they got for free from Aberdeen. What a fantastic start to the year for them. Anyway, before that, I want to listen to, a prediction. It is the day. We have to be we have to just take our green-tinted spectacles off and we have to think about how they're feeling across the road and listen to their predictions for the game today and see how welcome that we are at Ibrox.
As we get ready for the Old Firm game.
Hey, wait a minute, there's no Old Firm game, you English person.
This afternoon, as Rangers will be at home hosting, just hosting Celtic. We're not welcome. We're not delighted to welcome them, as the club said the other day.
Wait a minute, so your club actually sent out an email welcoming Celtic. You can't make it up.
Hosting Celtic in the SPL. That is it, guys. I mean, I don't know if you actually saw that the other day, but there was actually, I think it was on the website or somewhere. Rangers, I haven't got the thing on here anymore. This was it. I mean, I know the deaf thing is wrong. It's deep.
Oh, Rangers are delighted to welcome Celtic. He's even got it on the screen. Rangers are delighted to welcome Celtic to Ibrox Stadium on Thursday, January the 2nd.
DAF. But this is Rangers are delighted to welcome Celtic to Ibrox Stadium. No, we're not. We're not delighted to welcome them at all. We're just going to host them.
Oh my God!
It is what it is, guys. We are poor today. Like I said on the video earlier, on the premiere earlier, or yesterday, it's the only time I've ever gone into an Old Firm game with absolutely zero expectations. Absolutely
good. You expect nothing. We decide absolutely everything. Oh my goodness. Anyway. Oh Jesus. Good morning, Lanky's in the house. As I see someone saying, yeah, Lanky's in the house. Give us your score prediction, Lanky. And I've put the question out. There's been 129 votes already. How many goals will Celtic get chopped off today? And I mean that on a serious note. I think that the referee may chop off a few, only for VAR to reinstate the goals. Because we have one of us in VAR. Yes, there's a Tim on VAR. You would never have thought it. You would have never thunked it. Anyway, 36% say 1 goal. 46% said we'll get 2 goals chopped off today. 18% say 3 or more goals. We ended the Old Firm with a pump fest back in 2012. FC Expect Nothing. Yeah, let's listen to a bit more of FC Expect Nothing.
Absolutely zero expectations that we're going to do anything. I genuinely, feel that we are in a position where we cannot, we can't win. And it's
can't win.
To feel that way. Then, what, it would be such a Rangersy thing to do, to lose to St Mirren, to draw with Motherwell and look like a team that are in big trouble and then go and actually beat Celtic today. That would actually be such a Rangers thing to do, wouldn't it? I think we all went...
Wait a minute! Is he thinking he's Hibs? Does he actually think he's Hibs? They've said they've Hibsed it, so it's now a Rangers thing. You remember when Hibsed it? They would Hibsed it, and he's now saying it's a Rangers thing to do. Oh dear goodness! I hope this doesn't come back to bite me on the bum. But see if it does, they must have been the better team on the day. But I don't think that they will be.
Into the Spurs game, thinking we were going to get absolutely smashed, and we were unlucky to not win the game in the end. The cup final in itself, we actually played quite well. I thought we were unlucky not to win the cup final. So, look, who knows? Once the whistle goes and the two teams cross those white lines, and it's Celtic Rangers and blue versus green and white, who knows what happens?
White lines running through your face. Da-doom, da-doom, da-doom.
And then once that first tackle thunders in, once that first song starts, you never know what's going to happen. To some degree. Obviously Rangers are at a major disadvantage this afternoon due to the fact that the defence is just going to be patchwork.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute here. Right, let's look back to last season, Celtic fans. Let's look back to last season when Celtic had the majority of our back line out injured. Yes, we had the majority of our backline out injured, and in came Liam Scales to shore up our backline. That's how many people were out injured. You had Norowski was out injured. You had Carmen Carter-Vickers out injured. We hadn't bought Trusty in at that time. Liam Scales had thought he was going his way out to Aberdeen, and we played with Liam Scales and Lagerbielke at the back. Yes, an untried and untested partnership at the back. An untried and untested partnership. And I think that we need to be wary of them today. I still think that we need to be wary. The manager there's a slight possibility. There is a slight possibility that he may be able to get them ramped up and play in the European way. And you never know. Scales is better than CCV this year. Yes, I just said this. I said Lanky, where's Tierney? Your prediction was wrong. Where's Tierney? I waited since yesterday to call you out for that one. Anyway, where's Tierney? Anyway, let's listen to this Egypt again, or should we listen to this one? Yeah, let's listen to this guy.
Year that we've had in 2024, as things have been sadly meandering in the wrong direction for the club, but we hope that we can pick that up, and a great way to start that would be to get ourselves our first solid result against Celtic under the Claiborne era. Unfortunately, as we'll get on to when we come to the Rangers team news, that is going to be even harder than we probably would have expected going into the game. But first, I'll just sort of set the scene as we do normally. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of depth in this video as we did.
Where did they find these guys?
I did cover Celtic very recently, obviously, for the Cup final. A lot of that information stays true. You can watch that lowdown if you want to get a little bit more detail on some of the things that I'm going to cover today. But I will go over everything if you've only got time for this one today. In terms of the form of the two teams, Rangers go into this in their last 5 with 2 losses, 2 draws and just a single win. 2 disappointing results, obviously, previously to...
Let's say that again, mate. Disappointing.
Motherwell and St Mirren. We're going to have to pick up on those performances if we want to get anything out of the Old Firm game. Celtic games obviously difficult on their own without us giving them a leg up if we have another poor first half showing. Hopefully the event of the game itself will be enough to get the team up for it. But as I say, we'll have to see how things go there. In terms of Celtic, they're coming into this on form. 2 back-to-back 4-0 wins against Kilmarnock and Motherwell. You know, Celtic are doing what we can't. They blow teams away, they score multiple goals, put games to bed. We just continuously are struggling to do that. In addition, they have 2 draws and a 3rd win, including the Cup. A draw 0-0 against Dundee United and against Dynamo Zagreb in the Champions League. Obviously, in terms of league positions, Celtic are sitting top, played 18, won 16 with 50 points. Rangers now sitting second, won 11 out of 18, sitting on 36 points. In terms of the sort of highlight stats coming into the game, we've scored 8 in our last 5. Celtic have scored 11 in their last 5. They've got the most clean sheets in the league going into the game. And
I'm going to rename them Morbid FC.
Kind of at the moment averaging only 1.7 goals per game, which we're going to need to pick up if we're going to turn some of these results against the likes of Motherwell and St Mirren into victories. Formation and tactics, as I explained in the recent lowdown, as many clubs do, in terms of their fast and tricky. Wherever we have it, right back is going to have the job of trying to be reported as a serious internal bleed. Obviously, everyone at the Rangers Journal wish Jack the best, and hopefully. Additionally, in the last couple of days, we found out that Tavernier is suffering an injury. FD on the left, coming back in. I would maybe just play Yilmaz. But I do want us to try and keep our attacking options open, so I would probably keep the system so that the system is familiar. The training and things should be all around the current system, so the players would at least be familiar with that, even if they're out of position. I think he might have just a little bit more in the legs in terms of combativeness. To help with the defensive side of things. To our struggles against Celtic, I feel like this could be heading for a draw. As I say, we may have to just keep an eye on our defensive side and hope to break on them when they push on to us. But the danger with that is that, you know, with the form that Celtic are in, that inviting them on could be incredibly dangerous. So I'm not really sure how this game is going to go. It's going to be a tough one now. It's not going to be helpful, I don't think, to Clement's want to stay in his job.
Want to wait a minute. What do you mean want to stay in his job? Of course he wants to stay in his job. He's on a 4-year contract.
Lose this, I think it will be very difficult for the board to maintain his position, but we'll need to see how it goes. So we'll just have to wish the team the best. Hopefully, let's say the players that come in play well.
This is hard listening.
Given how things are going this season, Sod's Law, maybe we'll end up winning 3-0. Kelly will play a blinder. Who knows? Fingers crossed. But thank you for watching The Lowdown.
The whole of your 6 fingers crossed. Yes, all of your 6 fingers crossed. Ah, Jesus. Watching paint dry is more interesting than watching them talk. Yeah, I know, isn't it? It's who let Father Dougal on? Let Father Dougal on. Oh, absolutely fantastic. Right, let me see how many votes we've got. We've got 188 votes already in 19 minutes. Let's see if we can get it up to 200 or 300 votes. There's been over 1,000 people on the live this morning already. The puddle drinkers. There has been over 1,000 people on. Oh, look at that! 11111. The good old section 111. That still remains close to my heart in this day and age. I've had 190 votes, so let's see if we can get it to 200 or 300 votes before we call it quits. Maybe people aren't wanting to vote on that one because they're like, not wanting to chance it. How many goals will Celtic get chopped off today? 39% are going for 1, 45% are going for 2, 16% are going for 3 or more. Well, that's maybe a bit fanciful, but anyway, who knows? Celtic have entered the transfer market already, selling 1 player. And it could be another transfer window where several players do leave the club. Los Angeles FC are filing a loan deal for Celtic outcast Odin Ohm. Remember him? He came in, it was going to be Odin the Warrior. And it didn't really turn out like that for Odin, did it? It was yeah. When you look at the physicality of a player, I always thought that Odin Owen looks a bit thin to be a Celtic midfield player. He just looked a bit thin for me. It just doesn't have the upper body strength that I thought was needed for Scottish football. And it was interesting that we did buy him. And then the Honduran winger, Louis Palma, is also drawing strong interest from the American League. Obviously, Ohm was signed for £3 million. He's nowhere to be seen at all at Celtic Park these days. And I think Brendan Rodgers must look at him as well and say, like, you're just not got the physicality. Brendan Rodgers talks about it all the time, a player's physicality and the physicality of the game. And I just don't think he's got the upper body strength. I mean, James Forrest has got bigger shoulders than him. But then it takes big shoulders to carry the weight of Celtic on your back. And James Forrest has done that over the years. He's carried the weight of Celtic and he saw many players come and go. Anyway, the 21-year-old looks like he will be leaving the club. And also Louis Palma. It'll be interesting to see who Louis Palma goes to. There's thoughts of him going to Greece, isn't there? I think that would probably be the best move for him. Going to America, he might go there for money, but if he's still got aspirations to play in Spain. So it's been suggested that Celtic are now after 2 wingers. Now the fact that if we sell Louis Palma and James Forrest is out injured, it does only leave Nico Kuhn, Dyson Maeda and Yang. And I don't think that Yang... I think that Yang's one of the players that Ange bought into the club that I just don't think is going to make it. I'm going to be honest. I think he's similar to Kwon, that we know his capabilities, we know his limits. Is it the fact that we've got the best out of the Asian market? Are there players that are better than them that are still in the Asian market? Will Brendan Rodgers even look to the Asian market in the future? Or will the fact that Paul Tisdale kind of looks at a more worldwide market and tries to pick up players that are a little bit underrated but have some European football experience? We never know. Anyway, the Brazil club has triggered negotiations over a £4 million deal to take Bernabe back to foot. So £4 million. that we got for Burnaby. Not the 7 million, not the 5 million, not the 10 million that was quoted. Has been suggested that we got 4 million, which is fine because we took a little bit of a profit on the player, and that's all that you want at Celtic. The fact that we managed to get a profit at all on Burnaby, considering he's not been at Celtic now for about a season and a half, nearly 2 seasons. He went out when Brendan Rodgers first came back, didn't he? There's 215 votes. Let's get the votes up to 250. There's 551 people on the live. There's been over 1,400 on the live already. I hope Kyogo's goal adds to his Hun scalping today. He's got his Hun scalping boots on. Robert Wallace says that he thinks the team will be Casper, Johnson, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Scales. It's not going to be Scales, mate. Trust they'll come back in, trust me. Alex Baye, McGregor, Engels. No, it's not going to be Engels. It's going to be Paulo Bernardo, Hatate, Maida, Kuhn and Kyogo. I understand where you're coming from with that team, but I think that Paulo Bernardo has the experience of previous games, and that's why he'll get the nod before Arne Engels. The manager's kind of keeping Arne Engels wrapped up in a little bit of cotton wool and letting him just ease back into the team, taking the pressure off him, with the fans that are kind of saying that he wasn't worth the money we paid for him. And he knows that it's only the first 6 months that he's been at the club. You're not going to see the best of Arne Engels until the second half of the season. That's why I think that the manager will start Paulo Bernardo. He's got the experience of winning these games. He knows what it's like. He grabbed the game by the throat in the Scottish Cup final back in May. He knows how to do it at Ibrox as well. So that's why, and I think that as good as Scales is, I think that the preferred choice by Brendan is the fact that it's Trusty. And Cameron Carter-Vickers, due to Trusty's pace. The manager said that himself. He says Trusty's got 3 or 4 yards on Scales, and in a game like today where we will be dominant and on the ball a lot in their half, I do expect them to just hit high balls over, and if they hit high balls over, they know if they throw one down that left hand side, and if it's Greg Taylor that's playing rather than Alex Baye, they know that the left hand side is the weaker side of us. I think he will go with, I think you're right with the shout for Alex Baye, due to the fact that I think that Taylor is on his way out of the club, although there's been no speculation about any teams making a bid for Greg Taylor. But then the same happened last year. It was kind of under the radar, the situation when David Turnbull left. David Turnbull in the December kind of was in and out the team on the bench, and then out of the blue he was sold. But I expect that to happen this month also. Big Des says, brilliant. Hope Kyogo's goal is the first of a Hun Skelton. Scales will start over Trusty 100%, says Chowpill. That's an interesting one that we're kind of splitting that. Scales will play before Trusty, more experience in these games. Well, I could understand what you're saying, but I just think that the manager will be wary. He will be wary of them. But then again, when you look to the cup final, he started Trusty in the cup final, and then he hauled Trusty off at half time. So maybe you're right. Middlesbrough are a team in America looking at Taylor. Yeah, I heard the Middlesbrough one before. So it'll be interesting to see who he is sold to. Right. It is. What time is it? Where is the time? Why haven't I got the time on the screen anymore? It's 10:34 here. It's 9:34 Celtic Park time. I'm going to call quits on this video this morning because I've got stuff to do. Orders have been given for everything that I need to get done well before the game starts today, and I start getting on the swally. We'll finish off. We've got 230 votes. That's a roundabout number that we need. How many goals will Celtic get chopped off today? And the 1% is back to disappearing. Amazing that. YouTube had a day off yesterday. How many goals will Celtic get chopped off today? In first place was 2 goals on 43%. The small sample of Celtic fans that were on the live that decided to vote. Even though there's been 1,500 people on the channel, 1,500 people on the video so far, there's only been 231 votes. 40% say 1 goal will get chopped off today, and 16% 3 or more goals will get chopped off at Ibrox today for Celtic. I wonder if they get any goal. Could you imagine if they get a goal chopped off with VAR? Could you imagine the meltdown Could you really imagine the meltdown? Have an awesome day, troops. Catch you in a few days. My dad duties this week, so you won't see me. Keep the peace in green and white, says Lanky. Have a fantastic time with the wee one, Lanky. Boy for Benny offer. I only know I named 10, but enough to beat the zombies. Are you over here, Boy for Benny offer? I don't know where I'm going to go to watch football today. I can't be bothered driving, so it'll probably be close. Might even just watch it in the house so that I can jump straight onto YouTube afterwards. Anyway, make sure that you join the channel 1.5 and maybe even start 2 hours before the game, just to get the build up going. We'll probably start about 1 hour 45 before the game. We will start and we'll get the build up, and then we will get the Davy Seenan's in the house. Hi Davy, are you going with my brother today? I think you're going through to Logelly, weren't you? You going through to Logelly today? Nah, it's snowy in Aberdeen. Tell Kev I said hi, and I'll give him a phone before the game, Davey. And yes, I will catch you all later on. And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up.